All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here on Facebook. We are very fortunate today from the lovely state of Arizona, originally from Washington State, Laurel Robinson. Welcome to the show, Laurel. If you can hear the crowd go crazy for you. So tell us a little about yourself and your new journey and all that good stuff, please, Laurel.
Yeah. Well, my husband and I just recently relocated permanently here to Arizona. I'm a native of Washington State in the Seattle area where I am still licensed. I was licensed there in 2021. We've always had a goal of moving to Arizona permanently. We've had a home here since 2020, and I had been going back and forth between the two states, but it was also a goal of mine to eventually get licensed down here. So once my husband worked at Boeing, they offered him a job in Mesa. He moved down here this summer, and I moved down here on Labor Day weekend. We sold our home, and so we're fully committed to Arizona now.
Wow, that's exciting. He works for Boeing. What a great job, too. They're a great company.
Yes, it's a wonderful company to work with. Yeah.
So you're living in Washington, and you decided to have a second home in here because of, let's say, the weather.
Yes, exactly. So my husband and I had talked about finding a second home where we could escape during the winters to enjoy the sunshine and escape from the rain in Seattle. Our parents are retired and they are snowbirds, so they would go to like Palm Desert, Palm Springs area, or here to the greater Phoenix area. We liked both. We were trying to decide between the two, and we landed on the greater Phoenix area and bought a home here. It was during the COVID time period. So in 2020, we bought our first home in Gold Canyon here in Arizona. We were going back and forth. We just absolutely fell in love with it. And so we decided that eventually wanted to retire down here. And yeah, we did. So now I'm going back and forth because I'm still licensed in Washington. I go back up there about once a month, and I am actively starting my business here in Arizona.
Well, that's so exciting. Well, congratulations. What were
Thank you.
the because we have offices in Palm Springs, Palm Desert, and they're both very nice. What was the deciding factor between Palm Springs, Palm Desert, or here?
Yeah. So we there's actually two big factors. One was we're both, working full time, and we wanted to be able to easily like just hop on a flight on a Friday night, get down to either, where we're going to be, hop back on a flight to be back to work on Monday morning. And so there's a lot more flight options to go into
That's so
Phoenix
true.
versus
So true. Yeah,
home.
Palm Springs, great little airport, but not a lot of flights.
Right. And then the second big deciding factor for us was my husband and I are both golfers. And we noticed in the wintertime, there's beautiful mountains in Palm Desert, Palm Springs, but the sun sets, behind the mountains. And so it gets, it's the desert. So it gets pretty cold after the sun sets here. And so it was kind of like 3 o'clock, we'd have to be off of the golf course because it was chilly. So Phoenix didn't have that problem. We could golf longer during the day in the winter. So that was another deciding factor for us.
Yeah, Palm Springs and Las Vegas, kind of high desert. So it's definitely 10, 15 cooler in the winter versus Phoenix.
Yes.
And they both have dynamite golf courses. So that was more of a question for me because I'm like, you know what? They're both very good. And don't forget, you're still working, so the tax situation is better in Arizona. That
That's true. Very
would
true.
be number three.
Yes, that would be number three.
All right, cool. All right, well, that's such a great. So, what kind of are you winding down? Have you decided to work with somebody else in Washington on a referral basis? So, how are you handling? Because I think we have, I have an agent I coach too, Michelle Kubiak. She's working in two markets. So some agents just decide to work in two. Others decide, well, I'm going to slow down and move out. And oh, look who's calling me.
Oh, Ashley. Manager.
I should I should ask. I just looked over and I'm because my phone's off, and I looked over and I saw Ashley's face. Ashley Schmidt is Laurel's manager, in case you were wondering why I did that. But so just curious. So how are you going to handle that?
Yeah. So I'm still planning to. So I just renewed my license in Washington. I am hanging my license with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Northwest Real Estate. So I'm with Berkshire both in Arizona and in Washington, which is so nice to have.
Smart, good
Um,
job.
And what's really important for me, and one reason why I chose Berkshire is because of the agents in the office. They've all, from all my experience, my interactions have been so supportive, so wonderful, so willing to help. And it's just really so much like a team effort. So with my business up in Washington, when I realized I was moving down here to Arizona, I knew I had to put, a team of really good agents together that could help me while I'm down here. Cause I can manage my like going back and forth a lot easier when it comes to listings, but buyers are more challenging. But even with listings, I need someone to partner with to be, the boots on the ground. So if something comes up, which it always does, that they could be over there at the home at a moment's notice. So I have agents that are partnering with me up there. They're wonderful. My clients love them. And they've just been so helpful and so supportive, and I appreciate them so much. And I'm discovering, because I've always been an individual agent, it's fun to work with other people and to partner, because I just think that when you work with others, you're stronger together as a team.
Stronger together. I've heard that before somewhere.
Oh,
That was our saying at the convention like 3 years ago. Stronger together.
okay. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can see Gino saying it now. But all right, well, yeah, and you pick such a great area. That area you're in, Ashley is a great manager. It's a great office. You have a
Yes.
tremendous area. The average sell price is good. The numbers, have you noticed that? The numbers for real estate in Arizona are very good to start. I mean, for if you're
Yes.
starting a business as a real estate agent, great place to start, isn't it?
It is. I mean, there's so many new construction in our area. If you look at like Queen Creek, even here in Gold Canyon, there's just so many new construction, and so many people are relocating to Arizona. We have growth with businesses coming here, such as Intel and Apple coming here to Arizona. So there's a lot of people that are transferring down here. It's a booming place. So it's a lot of fun and exciting.
You even have that, my favorite name, Awatuki. You even have
Yeah,
Awatuki.
right.
Isn't that a great name? Awatuki and
It is.
Tempe. I always say Tempe only has one E at the end. It doesn't have three. I don't know why they say Tempe. It's Tempe. But I
Right.
don't know. I'm not. So it's kind of like Prescott. They don't call
Yeah,
it
I
Prescott.
know. That took me a while to learn how to pronounce that correctly.
I know, right? You got to learn the lingo. Hey, I'm from, New England, and you look at some of the names like Worcester. How would you pronounce that? Most people Worcester, right? Not in New England. It's Wista, Wista.
Okay.
So you got to learn the lingo. But so tell
Yeah.
us. So how do you? Okay, you got great areas, you got great numbers. How do you plan on getting this ball rolling? Because you already know how to do it. It's a slightly different market. So what do you plan on doing there to get it going, and maybe what your goals are and things like that, Laurel?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually replicating a lot of the same things I did in Washington, because I figured, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But willing to, tweak it as needed. So one thing that's different between Washington and Arizona is there's a lot of snowbirds. So, that's a question as I put my processes in place. How do I tweak what I do for the snowbird demographic that's here? But I've been really successful in Washington with doing open houses. And so
Yeah.
I'm doing that here as well. And I've, been able to add a lot of people to my database through open houses, and have had some pretty good leads from that, which is wonderful. So I'm continuing that. And that's something that's very, translates really well from Washington to Arizona. I also am doing farming. That's another thing that I did in Washington, and I'm just starting that up here. So I just got my farm, and I'm actually going to be door knocking this week. I sent out my intro postcards, and so I'm going to be door knocking and meeting people that are out here. I found in general, when I was starting my business in Washington, I tried a lot of different lead generation activities, just because I didn't know it was going to work and what wasn't. And what I really found is that being able to be face to face with people versus like cold calling was something that I felt that resonated with others, and it motivated me more, and was something that just came naturally to me. So I'm trying to replicate those same things here, and doing what I love and meeting people. So I think, yeah, the difference is mainly going to be, I think, the snowbirds, and how do I, like with farming, how do I, instead of sending something out every month or door knocking every month, how do I adapt that to a high amount of percentage of snowbirds in the community? So that's something I'm working on right now to figure out.
Perfect. Well, make sure when you talk farming, have you met Felicia yet from Agave?
Yes, she has helped me out so much. She helped me
Oh,
put my
good.
farm together. She's helped me with postcards. She is just also a wonderful, beautiful person to work with and partner with. So I
She is.
appreciate her.
And she has all kinds of energy, and she loves to help you with your farms and
Great
agave.
ideas.
I just love
Yeah,
the name
I do
agave.
too.
Yeah. So that, and then don't forget, like just like you, I'm sure you guys get the same tools, but the VAC, the Bowl Trail with BHS Connect, get everybody in there, make sure they're getting the drips from you, get all that loaded up. That, I mean, it's such a tremendous digital marketing campaign that you can do.
It is. I have been really impressed with the VAC and with like Mary Sand and the education team with the webinars that they do and just all the help that they have already given me to get things set up with the drip campaigns and with updating my website, all of that with the VAC. It's a great tool.
You beat me to the punch. That was the next name I was going to drop was Mary Sand because you want to definitely, because they'll both meet with you one on one, and you want to make sure you do. With Mary, I would just tell her what you want to do and say what would be the best way based on, like for me, I know I'm not a techie person, so I would
Yeah,
be all about the VAC. But if I'm more techie, I probably would be jumping into BHS Connect. So, and you can use both of them too. It's just up to
great,
you how you want to do it.
great.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Awesome.
Mary.
I love it. I love it. So, and the great thing about farming in Arizona, I don't know what the numbers are in Washington. I'm sure they're pretty good there too, but the turnover rate is pretty damn good in Arizona for doing a farm too.
But that's great to hear. Yeah, in Washington, I would get about like 1 to 2 listings a year from my farming activities.
Good.
I'm hoping at least to get that here in Arizona.
Oh, you can do that. Yeah, you can probably do that a quarter here. Definitely.
Cool. I'm ready.
Yeah, I was going to say when you said if you moved, okay, so you moved to have snowbirds, so you moved from the snow to the snowbirds.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did.
that's funny. Now you'll find Arizona is it's such a great area to live. It's clean, it's new. I mean, I know they think the traffic is bad, but nothing compared to like where you came from, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. I
I love
love, yeah,
when
the
people think,
there's plenty of roads and infrastructure. It's, yeah, we are absolutely enjoying it and loving it here.
yeah, it's such a and the golf courses and everything too. So okay, so let's get my favorite question is I love to ask top producers like yourself is okay, so you were successful in Washington, you're coming here. What are the top three things that you yourself would focus on, and maybe you could help somebody else, to be a success in this business? What do you think the
Yeah.
top three things that people should focus on are?
Yeah. So for me, it still is being organized. And I can't even emphasize enough the value in time blocking. I mean, with being so busy and with balancing a business here and in Washington, I have to time block and plan everything out. And the beauty about time blocking is I can also schedule in things I enjoy, like going and playing around a golf with my girlfriends and doing visits. So time blocking and being organized is really important because such a key to real estate in the business is being consistent and following up. And so scheduling all those things in is my main platform to be able to do that. The second thing that I do and I focus on is when I first started in real estate, I think I spoke about it a little bit, but finding those main lead generation activities that I can focus on and become really, really good at in Excel. And I tried, a lot of different ones. I narrowed it down to, 2 to 3, and then built really strong systems and processes around that. So I'm not, building anything by scratch, but I have, systems and processes that support those 3 pillars for lead generation that I focus on. And that also enables me to, follow up, to be consistent, because to be organized. Those are just the main things, for me. And also choose those activities and those pillars that you enjoy doing. Those like cold calling, I found, and online leads were not for me. It was, doing open houses, doing farming, doing those activities that I can get in front of people, and that helps motivate me in the business and to get up in the morning and to be excited about my business and look forward to the day versus if
Yeah.
it was like, oh gosh, I need to like wake up and get out of bed and do 20 cold calls. I just would probably find anything else to do than do that. So I think it's important to find those things that you like and do it really well and excel at them with excellence. And the third thing I would say is so important in this business. And one of my mentors, my first year in real estate, told me, she's like, well, if you're going to be in real estate, you have to have thick skin. So I think it's, having thick skin to
Mm.
persevere, to never give up, because in the business, there's going to be disappointments and there's going to be wonderful things to celebrate. So celebrate those wins. Don't forget, just to pause and to celebrate and to be grateful. And when you have those disappointments, which they come, I give myself permission to kind of mope about it for a little bit, but then shake off the dust myself off, get out there, learn from that experience and persevere and continue on.
Yes. Yeah, I always tell them in success series, you don't have to be a rejection junkie, but you have to be at least used to it.
Right. Yep.
It's one of the, it's like what you said makes perfect sense too. You got to have a little thick skin. I mean, you're in a business that you're going to hear no. You're going to hear no
Yep.
once in a while. You're going to spend
Yep.
time on things that don't work out, but
Right.
the ones that do work out are usually worth the trip, and it's a great business. For somebody
Absolutely.
who has an entrepreneurial mind too, you got to have a little bit of that for sure.
Right. It's fun. I can be creative. And, what motivates me is I get to help people. I look at every home sale, home buy, it's someone in a family that I am helping to achieve their real estate goals. And that's so fun and so exciting and so motivating. And so, yeah, I'm going to get some no's, but I just look at it as like, okay, I got a no, but that's one no getting me closer to a yes and focusing on
That's
those
the perfect
future.
way to look at it. Now, we're at like 17 minutes in here, and I'm concerned about one thing. You have not mentioned your dogs yet. I'm very concerned about that.
Oh, yes. So we have two long-haired miniature dachshunds, and they are my absolute babies. One is Vienna, and she's named after a Vienna sausage,
Yeah,
and
he
the
looks like one.
right, and the other is Reese's, and she's chocolate and tan, so she's named after my favorite candy, which is Reese's peanut butter cups. And then we have a cat. I need to mention my cat because she kind of rules the household, Coco, and she is a Siamese calico, and she has 6 toes on each paw, so she's a very unique, talkative cat who rules our dogs.
Wow, my son and his fiance have one of those cats, and then they have a what is he labradoodle.
Okay, how cute, yeah.
But so I had to go to your Facebook page, of course, to look you up before we started, and I was watching your husband play catch with one of them with a tennis
Oh,
ball.
that
That's
went
pretty impressive.
viral. It was
I
so
was gonna
funny.
say,
She's obsessed with playing with a ball. And so that was just so funny how he was able to throw it and she would bounce it off her nose and toss it back to him. And that went
perfect toss right back at him too.
and on. Right.
And that
Yep.
went on for a while too. That's talent. You should
It
definitely. I was going to say, you definitely should incorporate them in your social media campaign because they will go viral. People love, especially cute dogs
yeah.
like that. Like you said, they look like little hot dogs running around.
Right. Good suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah, because social media. I mean, let's face it. Part of your social media for you could be your journey going from
Yeah.
there to here. People
Yeah.
in Arizona would love that. The story of why you moved there, why you picked the area you're in, what's
Mhm.
important about that. Because let's face it, even though moving's exciting, it's not every little aspect about it isn't fun, is it?
Right. No, it's actually really stressful. And even though I was really looking forward to moving down here, it was emotional too.
Yeah.
To see, your home that you love, to see it on the market and get sold and to say goodbye to it and to say goodbye to, your friends and family. And obviously I go back there to visit them, but it's just not as easy for me to go have a coffee with them or out to dinner.
And, are you sure you're going to be able to get used to? Because I know Seattle is sunny like what 40% of the time.
Yeah, I don't know if
In
it's even
Arizona,
40%.
Arizona is sunny all the time.
Oh no, I know it's been funny. So like in Seattle, I would plan, it's like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be sunny on Wednesday this week. So I am outside, I'm gonna go play golf, I would go for a walk with my dogs, whatever it is to be outside. Here it's like, oh gosh, it's sunny every day. So it's different and I love it because I wake up every morning to blue skies and sunshine and it's really nice.
Yeah, no, it's funny because people from Vegas, like my wife is from Vegas, and I'm not. I'm from the Northeast. So she'll when it's raining, she'll go, "Oh, it's so awesome when it rains." I'm like, "No, it's not. I've had plenty of rain in my life, right? I don't
Right.
need any more rain. But we do need a little bit in the desert, but
You do.
so well, that's so exciting. Okay, anything else you can think of that I didn't ask you that you want to say today?
Gosh, I can't think of anything, Rick. Um, it's a
It's
pleasure
okay.
being on, talking to you and meeting you over Facebook, and hopefully we
Yes.
can meet face to face someday, which I'm sure that opportunity will be there, and I look forward to that day.
Well, yeah, and I'm so glad that Ashley suggested you, okay, to do this interview because I think your story is interesting. I think a lot of people love to hear it. It's becoming more and more popular today for people to move to areas like Phoenix area, Scottsdale, Las Vegas, Texas. All these areas where we're coming out of Chicago, we're coming out of Boston, we're coming out of Seattle, and
Yeah.
making these moves and why you pick certain areas and what's important and you can still run a whole like when you talk to and I'm sure that Felicia probably already mentioned this, but you could actually farm people that own property in Arizona that still live in Washington, right?
Yes.
Because so
That
you
is
can
part
also
of the farm that Felicia helped me with too. It was
yeah.
identifying the people. Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
all kinds of things you can do, and I definitely would incorporate what's going on in your life and the transition in your social media because I
Okay.
guarantee you will get a lot of views out of that.
Okay.
And your dogs. Don't forget your dogs.
Yes.
All right, Laura. Well, awesome meeting you today too. And once again, welcome to the company. Even though you've been with
Thanks.
Berkshire Hathaway before, so you know what it's all about. But welcome to the lovely state of Arizona. I'm sure you're going to do incredibly well. Anything I can help, let me know. I'm always here. Have a
Thank you,
wonderful
Rick.
day. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Have a great
Bye,
day.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.